and O Show. We are your hosts, Leslie.
Oni.
We are daughters, sisters, mothers, friends, divinely created and inspired women speaking freely about the things that matter to us and those we do life with. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome. Today's topic is toxic relationships.
I know too much about that, but go ahead.
Make some of y'all exhale. So, ooh, where do we start?
What makes for a toxic relationship? What is a toxic relationship? There's a lot of conversation
Yeah.
in the on the internet about toxic relationships, but it seems like it's kind of muddled. So what makes for toxic?
To me, it's the back and forth of unresolved issues.
Mm,
So, I have problems. I brought my problems in the relationship.
mm,
You have problems that are now in this relationship. Instead of us being able to work it out or be on that mature level, it's just constant clashing and fighting, and there's no resolve because we're not at that mature level to understand what's going on with us and then to be able to handle what's going on with the other person.
mm. That's that's a mature approach to that. Because the part of me want to go, that person just don't know how to act. And so them not know how to act cause me not know how to act, and we just be going at each other and hitting each other in the jugular because that's what it is. But like you said, at the root of it, it's these unattended to problems that come to the surface and then disrupt um the relationship one way or another.
Yeah.
So,
So once we get into these, because I've had my share.
who you tell?
Because we've all had our share.
Listen, there's a couple of names that get mentioned. My mother or Nadia mentioned. I go, oh,
Right. Just thinking about it, baby. What the heck?
what was I thinking? Why was that what I was drawn to? What was wrong with me that I was accepting of that? That's girl. That's everything that goes through my mind every single time those names come up.
Well, sometimes I'm not going to say no names. People feel that they can fix the other person. It's like you get in, people like, ooh, this is an easy, I can make this person into what I see they could be.
That is one of those things that they talk about that women do quite often. That we pick up projects, these men that are undone, that just need a little bit of work here and there. And once we put a little elbow grease and some love behind it, then they'll be what we want them to be. I don't know one where that worked.
No.
Not yet. And I'm not talking about, oh, he had a little nothing job, and I stayed with him while he was trying to figure out his life and get on the come up. I ain't talking about that.
No,
I'm
it's
talking
deeper.
about he was a jerk, and he wanted to be abusive or disrespectful, and I allowed it, and it caused us to fight all the time, or I was getting cursed out all the time. Different.
But I think when it gets to that point, like it doesn't, I can only say the ones that I know about, they never start out that way.
Never.
It starts out with, I can help him get a better job. I can help him feel better about himself. And later on, it's he didn't smack the mess out of me, or we cussing at each other. Like, he is really cussing me out. But it starts out with, this project should be easy.
Mm-hmm.
I have established myself on this level, and I feel, if I show him a little love, cook for him, give him, the best quote unquote of me, he will do better. And he will see that I'm the one for him. And
I am worthy
yeah,
of him because I helped make him amazing.
yeah,
And so, with that, potential is the killer in that situation. The potential of who he could be um, is what is dangerous. Because, in essence, is that not what you're attracted to instead of the person that is in front of you?
yes. You're attracted to the project, to the potential.
Oh, girl.
So
That's
when you get to
I,
see
hold
who
on,
he is,
hold on. You just said we are attracted to the project. Hold on, let's sit with that one for a minute. Wow. I've heard that said, but when it hit a little different sometimes. You're attracted to the project. What in the world is going on that I want to fix somebody? No, we already said it because I want you to see me and love me and accept me and think I'm the greatest. So that's why.
and sometimes even your natural, the person that you are, is an over nurturer, you know, because I don't know.
Is it over nurturing or just like for me? Okay, because I can say for me, I am a nurturer by nature. And it was the nurturer in me that said, I am willing to take you as you are and love you where you are. Because if I do this, then you'll be better. It didn't work. But that was just, I say that because I did not act outside of what was natural for me. Like, you naturally want to take care of people. I got this
Yeah,
natural inclination to make sure everybody good. I'm gonna
right.
walk with you. I'm gonna make like that's my thing. And listen, had to grow to the point to recognize that I ain't supposed to nurture everybody.
If I eat, you eat. That's how we work.
Yes, but that's cool with the homies, and that's cool with the lover, the husband, the partner that is willing to do that in a reciprocal situation, but not in I'm just gonna give all of this in hopes that in hopes of is where the problem starts. Oh, oh.
But you take it on, and sometimes we take it on, we know that they can't give it back at that point. Like,
Do we know it? Is it that we know it? Or yeah, is it that we know it? I don't know whether I know it.
I think a little,
Because I know I say it on the other side.
yeah.
Like after I was able to say he didn't have the capacity to love me the way I needed to be loved. Um he wasn't in a place to love me the way that I needed to be loved. That's where I got. So, no.
And then it's like also, he didn't have, so I think of also those that, whether it be women or men, but someone is at a higher level and they feel, see the potential in this person living with his mama, her mama, you know got kids they ain't taking care of. Like, the whole setup, it starts out like, if you look, it's like, yeah, you knew this was going nowhere, you know.
No, I didn't. Stop talking about me. I did not know. And I said that I was going to be different. This was not going to be my situation and it was going to be okay. That's what
Therefore,
I said.
but it's like we put ourselves in this situation, and I guess the heartbreak is you hope for more. And so it's like, what is it that's really making you stay? Is it, I don't want all this work? Beyonce said in one of her songs, I don't want everything that I've taught you
Ooh,
to so and so to, benefit from.
beneficial to somebody
I
else.
have made you and built you up. Susie ain't benefiting from what I have done.
I'm gonna ring the alarm and I'm gonna tell you, girl, that's her favorite part. She be like, if I really you gonna leave me and she gonna get all my stuff.
Everything that I've done for you.
Yeah.
And I think in a little part, is that something that we as men and women on that, I'm gonna stick it through. It's gonna get better. Is that a little part of us? It's it may not get better, but so and so ain't benefiting from what I.
Now I ain't saying that. No, I'm gonna tell you. One time I did have it to where it was I'd have done too much in this for me to just walk away. But somebody else, I had that thought with one person. But it comes up when we and if we don't think about it, say it like that. When we think about time, oh, we've been together for too long to just walk away from this. We got too much invested to just walk away from this. That's when that comes into consideration. But with that, it still doesn't explain why we stay, and we only stay for one reason, and that's our hearts are invested entirely too deeply. We in too deep.
Can't get your head above the water.
At all, because we are wading through the love pond of this. Listen, and I'm gonna take that back. It ain't even a love pond, it's a love swamp. Because
Quicksand.
the water is murky at any time your feet can slip, and it ain't necessarily something you want to be in, but there's something also warm about it. And that's the crazy thing. It's like it's ugly and warm. You ain't necessarily visually appealing, but there's some kind of feeling that makes you say, I can't just walk away from this.
Is it that toxic relationships give off some of the best loving?
I've heard that said, but it okay, because again, I've heard them people say that. I ain't with, but when I think about my own crazy, it's all right, considering that I've now experienced what it's like not to be in crazy situation, in a toxic situation, and I'm like, this is better. It's there is a passion that's in toxicness that I think is what people speak to. That highness. So you already knocked me low. we have had this low moment. And then you come back around and you apologize, and we look at each other and we laugh and we joke, and then we kiss, and then we take each other's clothes off, and then we in bed, and oh my gosh, this is so amazing. It's only amazing in the moment because it's this cyclical pattern to it, because we end up being in nonsense again.
So I'll tell you what comes to my mind with that. The movie Malcolm and Maria.
Girl.
Because that was the most interesting and hardest toxic relationship that was played out on screen. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
And so many people that actually done it, been through it, and he's like, and at the screen, just leave. Just what are y'all doing? What's going on?
So many times I was like, if y'all just don't shut up, just stop talking. Literally.
Right,
stop talking. It'll get better. Just stop talking.
Somebody's gonna come to an understanding. Just take that.
But it never happened.
Mm-mm.
They had a bond that wasn't built on something positive. The term that one therapist used was trauma bond. Because remember, he was saying they were telling their story and doing one of them fights, and it was revealed that she was strung out, and I think
Mm-hmm.
she was having an episode OD or something, and he came and he helped save her, and he got her into treatment, and he walked with her through that whole thing. They don't know life with each other without struggle. And so even when you have a really good moment, what does that look like if you don't know how to function without struggle at the center of it?
But couldn't we also say when we look at somebody and see them as a project, it's kind of the same way.
But
He's
I
talking
don't
about
know.
it.
Okay, so are you saying that I know I'm looking at you as a project? Because that's the thing.
Yeah,
Do I know I'm looking at you like a project?
yeah. Because you see potential. Potential is a project.
No, but okay, if you put it that way. If you
Potential is a project.
okay, if you put it that way, then okay. Now go ahead, say it again.
So can we say that it's kind of like the same thing where theirs were actually sorry, it was what they call, it's still in a way, it's not really a trauma bond, but it's tragedy in a sense.
What part?
Because I needed to fix you. You was broken in some kind of way that I felt Captain Safe Oni can come in there and swoop you up and make you all better and great and shiny for me.
Uh
I
huh.
can make this penny back to being shiny.
Uh huh.
Not the same way.
No, because it doesn't start with struggle.
She'll do here at the bottom. Or she at the bottom.
At the
And you,
bottom.
not the bottom, but you're reaching down to try to pull this person up because you see what they can be. So that's, they're in their struggle. And you're like, I got you. I'm going to help you get this job. You can come stay with me.
So I don't know. That it still feels different. It still feels different because
It's different in the
I
sense
think the
that
way
one's strung out on drugs and one's just may or may not have a job. And
I I'm good versus I'm bad. Um, there's some kind of common, and I think I'm looking at we do have some kind of commonality. There is something in common that we share in the regular sense, not in the trauma connection.
right.
Um,
Okay.
and so the entry into what we have is
Mhm.
different, and
Okay.
that's what makes the difference for me.
Yes. No, I understand that.
But and yes, it is that I'm looking at the potential, but the way that it's constructed, even though it is a faulty foundation, if I meet you and you got the bare minimum going on and I'm still willing to go with you and I got everything going on. And I go, oh, that'll get better in time, as opposed to looking at it how it is today. That's where we got the faulty connection. One of our friends, she would say all the time, if you can't take somebody as they are today, then you don't need to take them at all.
Mm.
And that's where we get in trouble because we look at where they are today and then we see these little glimmers of possibility and we go, I'm going to go with what you can be tomorrow. And
Right.
that's what I'm going to lean on. But
He
that,
always wanted to be a manager at the Jiffy Mart.
but what you doing today though? Sitting at home playing video games?
Waiting on them to call him back.
No. Oh, now I'm not now. Ooh, hold on. Because I'm never saying you don't get with somebody when they are in low places. So, like right now, we got people who were laid off because of the pandemic and all this other stuff. So if somebody meets somebody and they're without this job, I don't want nobody to be like, oh no, they said don't date nobody. No, I am not that. I'm saying if you ain't had no job to be laid off from, that's something. And then even if you did get laid off, how you looking at life? If you got that oh woe is me situation going on, woo, beware.
Okay, so what about
Like,
if the man is, I forget the name, but in the Acrimony movie with Taraji P. Henson,
uh-huh.
he like at that point it was like that was a project kind of.
No, she fell in love with a man who had a dream. Now, was it that he wasn't? Was he bringing money in, or he was only focused on that?
He was only focused on the dream.
And so I can't get mad. So like when she would get so mad, I remember watching that part, and I was like, "Yo, you can't get mad because you walked in and you knew the man was about the dream." And so, am I willing to bank on you becoming Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg? Am I looking for you to do that type of thing, or make it? Like I remember I had a situation with somebody who wanted to be getting the music, or am I looking for you to be like Timberland, and that's all that I'm banking on, or do I am I okay with laying back and I gotta carry us until the dream takes off?
Mm.
But you gotta be real with yourself. And it
Right.
can't be where they talk about where they're sick. Like with him, the thing was he kept showing that he's doing the work. Was he a bit frivolous? Absolutely. But you signed up to be with a creative.
So in that, we have our different types of toxic relationship, but reasons for getting in them. We understand that, it was a project point of view.
Mhm.
Why are they the hardest to get out of though?
Because our hearts are invested. Our hearts are invested in such a way that it's like you become intertwined with that person. And so to walk away is devastating to think about. But also remember I was talking about that passion. That passion is attractive. It is this thing of when it's good, it's really, really good.
Right.
But when it's bad, it's really, really bad. And so I think it's the really, really good that causes us to gravitate to it and say, no, we can make it work. We will be better. It's that passion. Who don't want to be in a passionate situation, even if the passion is crazy?
Yeah. But it's that passion that gets you killed.
Yes. And many of our brothers and sisters have succumbed because love kept them there. Love kept them there. Um, and they couldn't see the need to go. Or when they did leave, food found them and still did something dastardly to them. So it's that that's where things get murky. Like you could run, you could leave. Um, but what if you can't? What if you can't?
Huh?
And I don't think we talk enough about that. What if I can't leave? What am I supposed to do? I got to love and live so that I can survive until I don't have to no more.
Mm.
Hoping that you won't take me out in the process.
And that's deep because you never think about the person not being able to leave.
No,
You think about them as, like you said, you so enwrapped up, you missing the opportunities of your escape.
But what about the girl that got the babies? And if she leaves, her mama and them done turn their back on her because she done talk so bad about this situation and they tired of it. And so she says, I'm gonna go, and they go, all right, I don't know where you're gonna go. She wants to go, but where's she gonna go? When there's nowhere, and she could go to the shelter, but then you hear so many bad things about the shelter.
Right.
She could go live in the bus station, but you can't do that no more. Um, where's she gonna go? And so we look crazy at some folks, but we don't know all of the stuff that goes into it. What when so she would leave, but he done took all the money. He keep the like we have at the job. He got the even down to the food stamp card if you in that situation.
Right.
Or he got control over the bank account and
What is
you
that?
home taking care of kids. So what you got? You want to leave with what?
Yeah,
So
that's true.
that's the I want to say the most horrible end of that spectrum because that's somebody who's legit trapped.
That is.
Yeah. And so they can't leave. And even though their hearts say, now there's some people who will go, well, I'll go live in the street. Okay. Some people have the room for that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They would be able to make it. Some people wouldn't make it in that situation. And so,
I.e. me wouldn't make it.
huh?
I said, i.e. me wouldn't make it.
Yeah. Listen, when it came time for me to figure out whether I was gonna go, I remember somebody was like, "Well, I take my kids and I go live in a bus station. That's you. I can't. I don't even like public bathrooms.
Right.
So where am I supposed to go to take myself and my daughter to get away from this? That we're going. I'm not looking for immediate comfort, but at least the basic stuff is going to be taken care of. And so, if it wasn't for my mama, I think about that a lot. If it wasn't for my mother, allowing me to come and stay with her, I don't know what would happen when it was time for me to go. You know, because I ain't had no money because the fool kept spending the stupid money. So I had to figure it out and finagle some stuff so that I had a little bit of something when I left. But I was almost in this situation. So it love keeps you there. Because for me, love ran out. I was done. Love was no longer enough. And I didn't care what he thought about me. I was done. But then it became a financial issue. So we're trapped sometimes. And that's why we can't go. But sometimes we are prisoners to our emotions. They'll keep us stuck in a space that doesn't serve us. And we just can't walk away because our hearts are being deceived.
So, and watching the movie with Malcolm and Maria, would you say that was love, or is it that at that point when you say that's their love?
That's their love. That is their love exchange. Um that part when she was in the bathtub and that Bama came in there and he was talking, and the fact that she sat there and she allowed him to talk to her the way that he was talking. That what I'm talking about, this passion. Like it was electric. That scene. I think there was moments of electric that they made so evident throughout the course of that film. And so that is enough to keep people in a moment. Even though she felt some type of way, there was something that came off the screen that was electric, and so you would imagine that in that kind of discourse there would be something. You want to get out of it, definitely, but to just get up and walk away. I believe they loved each other in the way that they knew how to love. I was taught that that they were loving in the way that they know how to love. We expect people to love us the way we want them to love us, the way we know how to love.
Right.
Some people just don't know how to love um completely, freely, wholly, um, and without all of that mess. Some people just don't know how to do that.
Yeah, because you mean you're not talking with. Most of toxic people have some kind of, most, not all, but childhood trauma or, yeah, childhood trauma. They were either abused, neglected, or something happened where that whole love scale was like, bloop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so you got, or in their adulthood, somebody took them through the ringer. Because I honestly, after that relationship that I was talking about a little while ago, I was toxic. I am in hindsight. I told Matthew, I said honestly, if I had not met you in the space after therapy and after taking a break from relationships, I don't think we would have been together. Because I remember this time I was telling my mother, I was like, Mom, I don't know why every guy I get with end up calling me a bitch. She was like, huh? She was like, Leslie, that is so disrespectful. I was like, I agree. And then this situation happened. I don't know what happened. And I had to call her because I needed her. And I didn't like what she said. And I went off. I don't know what off looked like because I was a little inebriated at the time. And so the next day, she said, listen, let me say this to you. I absolutely understand why somebody will call you that. She said, I wanted to call you that.
Mm.
She said, so I'm going to need you to fix whatever is causing you to go there so quickly because that's going to be a problem for you. And it better not come near me no more. I was like, eh. And then I was like, but what did I say? So that's the thing when we talk about people don't even see themselves. I had no clue that was what I was doing. I had no clue that I was out here chewing people's heads off. I had no clue that I was making it bad. I didn't know.
And I've had an ex to this day. He'll text me every while and we'll talk, and he'll be like, "You were the best thing for me, but at that time, I did not know."
Yeah.
Because that was a toxic relationship to the point where I was like, I go off on nobody, but I snapped and I went off.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, when you left and you was like, this done, and you went up, he was like, from then I got to see what my problem was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, good, because I knew it wasn't me. So he was like,
oh my gosh.
No, I didn't say that. But it's like through some, not all, they see, like, it's people that will show them, this is the problem.
Yeah. Because when them people that show you, girl, them the worst things you ever want to encounter. Because, and I'm thinking about one relationship just came to mind. Every time I think about it, I go, Lord Jesus, what was I doing? And I mean, it was toxic because I was crying all the time. I go to my mother's house and I'm dropping the baby off and I'm crying. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And she was like, hold on, wait a minute, hold on. What are we doing? And I'd explain to her what's happening. Okay, I'm going to need y'all to get it together. I'm going to need y'all to get it together. I'm going to need y'all to get it together. And eventually I had to say, okay, I got to walk away from this because it's too much getting together I got to do.
Right.
That I like there was no peace. High, low, high, low, high, low. And oh girl, no. Like I said, after that was the one that showed me that what it was I needed in a relationship. That was the one that showed me what peace looks like. That was the one that showed me what real love is not. So that I knew how to approach the next one. So yeah, they come through like a wrecking ball with a mirror.
Right. And that's what I would say.
Show you.
The when they say the next thing will be, what's the purpose? Do you think that they serve a purpose in our lives? And like you said, it shows you who you are, what level you are.
If you make it out, so let's give that caveat. If
Exactly.
you make it out, toxic relationships have the ability to shape who you are, for the better if you are willing to learn from it. Because some people leave toxic relationships and become time bombs. Um, they become the most reckless people out in relationships, and they hurt more people and hurt more people and hurt more people. But if you are able to make it out and you're willing to stop and look at yourself and analyze how you were able to get yourself in that situation, they serve as the platform for you to jump to the best relationships you may have in your life.
Mm.
um do they in the most negative, they serve as a cautionary tale. When we think about those who did not make it out, those who were killed in it, those who died in it by happenstance, and never got to experience real love and real joy in relationship, they serve as a cautionary tale for everybody that hears the story. Don't stay. Even like first glance. Like that's what I tell Nadia. First glance of crazy. He cursed you out, he got to go. I done been listen. If my mother said that when I was younger. She was like, if he cursed, then he's gotta go. And I was like, I don't care if he cursed.
I cursed too.
Yeah. And so
She didn't know you didn't want to curse me out
now
first.
I'm like, I don't mind if there's a word or two that fly here and there, but don't be trying to direct them words at me or nobody else. That is a red flag.
Right.
If you don't know how to express yourself in such a manner that is respectful of yourself and the other person, then we're gonna have a problem. Those are the people you run away from, because the more I invest myself, the more likely this may backfire on me.
Right.
So that's the thing. I don't know. It's rough. I don't.
No, yeah. And that's at that point is when you find out when enough is enough.
Yeah.
How is something like, even like you said, we have to teach our kids. And because when you think about it, we weren't really taught that. Well, can't say we, but the generation above us really didn't get that lesson because it was stick with it. You have
Mm-hmm.
the older people that said stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
The religious people says give them another
Mm-hmm.
chance.
Mm-hmm.
So our parents and grandparents stuck with the toxic relationships and then for helped us continue the pattern of toxic relationships because of what they were taught.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they never really learned when enough is enough.
Because there was no room for enough for them. With us and choice and having the opportunity to have agency over our lives and the direction that we're going to go in, that shifted all of that. But there are still people who say that struggle should be a part of is a part of relationship, not struggle with you don't know how to treat me, not struggle with you and I can't stop fighting. That type of thing. For both of us, we need to retreat. We need to take a break, and then we'll come back in a bit and figure out whether is going to be where we're going to be. And if it ain't going to work, if we can't talk through love to each other, then we don't need to talk.
Right.
We don't need to talk. We don't need to be in this. One of the things that I told one of my girlfriends when she was dealing with her husband, she was like, I'm just tired. I said, well, apparently you're not sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's when enough is enough. When you very well may lose your life if you stay.
Right.
That's when enough is enough.
And you find it that struggle is okay. What we were talking about earlier. You said Sweetie and her man.
Quavo.
They had the fight in the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, what's his name? Lil Boosie. He came on and said, that is how, that's Black love.
Mm.
You know, he was saying how that's the love he wants.
That I wanted to fight with you? But why I got to listen. And this is how distorted love has gotten. And I would be so willing to say that the historical nature of the broken family still manifests itself in our thinking. That I'm willing to deal with whatever so that we stay as a unit. But at the same time, we're not in the same space where that demand was necessary. Yes, you would like families to stay together, but if we can't be good to each other, and if there are children involved, we are teaching our children something that is absolutely horrendous for their future. This comes from a man who we know has taught his son some things and exposed him to some things that we don't want people to we don't think that people should expose their children to. And so I take his stuff with a grain of salt. This Saweetie and Quavo thing, that video was like from a year ago, and so she was like, we tried to work it out, and now we're at the space that it's not gonna work. Enough was enough.
Yeah.
She got to the point where we can't keep doing this. If we can't listen, if we can't smile for the camera and be smiling when ain't nobody around for real, then what you doing?
Right.
There will be fights, there will be ups and downs, but the downs should not be more prominent than the ups. Exactly. There's no rebound and we got a problem.
So, ladies and gentlemen, how far do you take a toxic relationship? What was the worst that you've been in that it got to the point where you was like, enough is enough? Are you still in one and giving an excuse? Or what do you feel would be a good enough reason to say stick with it? It'll be okay. Let us know. Hit us down below. LegendOShow1@gmail.com for any questions, concerns, and feedback. We thank you for our show. Joining us today, I should say. Toxic relationships. Have a good evening.